Hare Krishna Prabhu, can you do the Kirtan, please?
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvaradhari
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 Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana Yamuna Chira Vanachari Yamuna Chira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvaradhari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvaradhari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha
Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana Yamuna Chira Vanachari Yamuna Chira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvaradhari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvaradhari
Jaya
Yashodanandana Vrajachandra Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajachandra Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Prabhu, can you share the sloka?
Yes.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Third canto, 15th chapter. Sloka 20. So the description of Vaikuntha planets is continued. Yes. Hare Krishna. Yashankulam Haripadanti Matras Dushtai
Yat sankulam haripadanachi matra drishte
Vaidurya Marakada Hemamayer Vimane
Vaidurya marakata hema mayar vimane
Yesham Brihat Katitata Smita Shopi Mukhya
Yesham brihat kachitata smita vimukya
Krishnatmanam Naraja Adator Utsmayathe
Krishna atmanam na raja dadur usmayane
Yatshankulam Haripadanti Matra Drishtair
Yat sankulam haripadanachi matra drishte
Vaidurya Marakada Hemamayer Vimane
Vaidurya marakata hema mayar vimane
Yesham Brihat Katitata Smita Shopi Mukhya
Yesham brihat kachitata smita vimukya
Krishnatmanam Naraja Adatur Utsmayadhe.
Krishna atmanam na raja dadur usmandeyai.
Prabhu, can you please chant?
Yes, ma'am. Yat sankulam haribanachi matra drishtair Vaidurya marakata hema mayar vimane Yesham brihat kachitata smita vimukya Krishna atmanam na raja dadur usmandeyai.
Synonyms. Yet, that Vaikuntha abode.
Yeah, that Vaikuntha abode.
Shankulam is pervaded.
Shankulam is pervaded.
Haripada at the two lotus feet of Hari,
Haripada at the two lotus feet of Hari,
the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Anati by obeisances.
Anansi by obeisances.
Matra simply.
Matra simply.
Drishte are obtained.
Drishte are obtained.
Vaidurya lapis lazuli.
Vaidurya lapis lazuli.
Marakata emeralds.
Maraka emeralds.
Hema gold.
Hema gold.
Maya made of.
Maya made of.
Vimane with airplanes.
Vimane with airplanes.
Yesham of those passengers.
Yesham of those passengers.
Brihat large.
Brihat large.
Kaditata hips.
Kachitata hips.
Smita smiling.
Smita smiling.
Shobi beautiful.
Shobi beautiful.
Mukhya faces.
Mukhya faces.
Krishna in Krishna.
Krishna in Krishna.
Atmanam whose minds are absorbed.
Atmanam whose minds are absorbed.
Na not.
Na not.
Raja sex desire.
Raja sex desire.
Adudo stimulate.
Adadu stimulate.
Utsmaya adhye by intimate friendly dealings, laughing and joking.
Maya adhyay by intimate friendly dealings, laughing and joking.
Translation. The inhabitants of Vaikuntha travel in their aeroplanes made of lapis lazuli, emerald and gold. Although crowded by their consorts who have large hips and beautiful smiling faces, they cannot be stimulated to passion by their mirth and beautiful charms. The inhabitants of Vaikuntha travel in their airplanes made of lapis lazuli, emerald and gold. Although crowded by their consorts, who have large hips and beautiful smiling faces, they cannot be stimulated to passion by their mirth and beautiful charms. Hare Krishna Bhavana Mataji, can you read?
Hare Krishna Mataji. In the material world, just a minute. In a material world, opulences are achieved by materialistic persons by dint of their labor. One cannot enjoy material prosperity unless he works very hard to achieve it. But the devotees of the Lord, who are residents of Vaikuntha, have the opportunity to enjoy a transcendental situation of jewels and emeralds. Ornaments made of gold, bedecked with jewels, are achieved not by working hard, but by the benediction of the Lord. In other words, devotees in the Vaikuntha world, or even in this material world, cannot be poverty stricken, as is sometimes supposed. They have ample opulences for enjoyment, but they need not labor to achieve them. It is also stated that in the Vaikuntha world, the concerts of the residents are many, many times more beautiful than we can find in this material world, even in the higher planets. It is specifically mentioned here that a woman's large hips are very attractive and they stimulate man's passion. But the wonderful feature of Vaikuntha is that although the women have large hips and beautiful faces and are decorated with ornaments of emeralds and jewels, the men are so absorbed in Krishna consciousness that the beautiful bodies of the women cannot attract them. In other words, there is enjoyment of this association of the opposite sex, but there is no sexual relationship. The residents of Vaikuntha have a better standards of pleasure, so there is no need of sex pleasure. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you, Mansi. Prabhu, can we go to the next sloka also? We just take these two slokas. 21 sloka. Shri Rupini Vanayati Charanara
Shrirupini konayati charanarvindam.
Leelambujena Harisadmani Mukta Dosha
Leelambujena harisadmani mukta dosha.
Samlakshate Sfatika Kundya Upeta Himni
Samlakshate spatika kudya upeta himni.
Sammarjati Vayat Anugrahane Anya Yatna.
Sammarjativa yad anugrahane anya yatna.
Synonyms. Shri Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune.
Shri Lakshmi is the goddess of fortune.
Rupini, assuming a beautiful form.
Rupini, assuming a beautiful form.
Kvanayati, tinkling.
Kvanayati, tinkling.
Charana Ravindam, lotus feet.
Charna aravindam, lotus feet.
Leela Ambujena, playing with a lotus flower.
Leela Ambujena, playing with a lotus flower.
Hari Sadmani, the house of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Supreme Personality.
Hari Sadmani, the house of the Supreme Personality.
Mukta Dosha, freed from all faults.
Mukta Dosha, freed from all faults.
Samlakshate, becomes visible.
Samlakshate, becomes visible.
Spatika, crystal.
Spatika, crystal.
Kudye, walls.
Kudya, walls.
Upeta, mixed.
Upeta, mixed.
Hemni, gold.
Hemni, gold.
Samarchati Iva, appearing like a sweeper.
Samarjati Iva, appearing like a sweeper.
Yat Anugrahane, to receive her favor.
Yat Anugrahane, to receive your favor.
Anya, others.
Anya, others.
Yatna, very much careful.
Yatna, very much careful.
Translation. The ladies in the Vaikuntha planets are as beautiful as the goddess of fortune herself. Such transcendently beautiful ladies, their hands playing with lotuses and their leg bangles tinkling, are sometimes seen sweeping the marble walls, which are bedecked at intervals with golden borders, in order to receive the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The ladies in the Vaikuntha planets,
the ladies in the white planets,
are as beautiful as
the
goddess of fortune herself.
The goddess of fortune herself.
Such transcendently beautiful ladies, their hands playing with lotuses, and their leg bangles tinkling, are sometimes seen sweeping the marble walls, which are bedecked at intervals with golden borders, in order to receive the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
The grace of the Supreme Personality.
Supreme Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that the Supreme Lord Govinda is always served in his abode by many millions of goddesses of fortune. Lakshmi Sahasra Shata Sambrama Sevyamanam. These millions and trillions of goddesses of fortune who reside in the Vaikuntha planets are not exactly consorts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but are the wives of the devotees of the Lord and also engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of the Lord. It is stated herein that in the Vaikuntha planets, the houses are made of marble. Similarly, in the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that the ground on the Vaikuntha planets is made of touchstone. Thus, there is no need to sweep the stone in Vaikuntha, for there is hardly any dust on it. But still, in order to satisfy the Lord, the ladies there always engaged in dusting the marble walls. Why? The reason is that they are eager to achieve the grace of the Lord by doing so. Hare Krishna Mataji. Oh. It is also stated here that in the Vaikuntha planets, the goddesses of fortune are faultless. Generally, the goddesses of fortune does not remain steadily in one place. Her name is Chanchala, which means one who is not steady. We find, therefore, that a man who is very rich may become the poorest of the poor. Another example is Ravana. Ravana took away Lakshmi, Sitaji, to his kingdom, and instead of being happy by the grace of Lakshmi, his family and his kingdom were vanquished. Thus, Lakshmi in the house of Ravana is Chanchala or unsteady. Men of Ravana's class want Lakshmi only without her husband Narayana. Therefore, they become unsteady due to the Lakshmi ji. Materialistic persons find fault on the part of Lakshmi, but in Vaikuntha, Lakshmi ji is fixed in the service of the Lord. In spite of her being the goddess of fortune, she cannot be happy without the grace of the Lord. Even the goddess of fortune needs the Lord's grace in order to be happy. Yet in the material world, even Brahma, the highest created being, seeks the favor of Lakshmi for happiness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayesha Bhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Seveya Bhagavatir Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Mugam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Lange Dikirim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Deenadaranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swami Nidhi Namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashati Dishtarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakturanda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Shri Rupini Kvanayati Charanarvindam Leelambujena Harisatmani Mukta Dosha Samlakshate Spadika Kudya Upeta Hemni Sammarjati Vayat Anugrahane Anya Yatna. The ladies in the Vaikuntha planets are as beautiful as the goddess of fortune herself. Such transcendently beautiful ladies, their hands playing with lotuses and their leg bangles tinkling, are sometimes seen sweeping the marble walls, which are bedecked at the intervals with golden borders, in order to receive the grace of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna. So here again, the Vaikuntha planets are described so beautifully. In the previous slokas, it was said how attractive the ladies in the Vaikuntha planets are, and also they have spiritual body. It's not on a material platform, because there's no point of sense gratification there. No, Srila Prabhupada started explaining that service to Krishna is important. Even the ladies are so beautiful, the men are not attracted because their consciousness is fully on Krishna, to serve Krishna, right? So that's what. So when you have a higher taste, when your mind has a higher goal and a higher taste, the smaller things becomes nothing. When a child keeps crying because he want ice cream or something which affects his throat so much, his health, he keeps on eating the ice cream, the mothers have to take it out. Like they can't give more, so they give either less, and if the child demand again and again and start crying, what does the mother do? Just try to distract his attention, in the sense might give a cartoon or something, so that some toys, so that he can play with, and then he gradually forgets the ice cream sense gratification. And that's how she tricks the mind of the child or the child. So the child is so innocent, and so it just takes the toy and it just forgets about the ice cream, right? So similarly, our mind is also like that. So when you don't have a higher taste or higher things, then all these material things becomes attractive. So that's why the Prabhupada says the whole material existence or creation is just on the attraction between men and women. But then as we go to the spiritual life, spiritual path, we feel detached from all that things, and we know that life has a better purpose or a more better goal. This aharam nidra bhayamaitunam, that's eating, mating, sleeping, defending, is for the animal society. I mean, it doesn't mean you have to completely stop. You can't completely stop eating, completely stop all that thing. No, like if you have fever, So your temperature goes to 102, 103 degree Fahrenheit. It's like more. So then what happens? You take medicines, you control it. Do you control and keep your temperature to 0? No, you keep it to the right temperature. It's 98.6 degree Fahrenheit, so 37 degrees Celsius. So that's your body temperature. That's the apt temperature. If it goes down, then you freeze. 0 degrees. So that means sense gratification is needed, not to a higher extent, not to a lower extent. It should be in the middle, or it should be controlled. No, so that's that happens when you give your mind a higher consciousness or higher purpose, like param drishtva nivartante. When there is spiritual activities happening, then the soul gets a higher taste, and all these material things, it's not completely rejected like a renouncant yogis who reject and just go. They think everything is Maya. I can't touch all this. No, it's Maya. So but then Prabhupada is like, why are you scared of all these things? It's given to you by Krishna, and use it in his service. No, so our senses also should be used in Krishna's service. So the men in Vaikuntha are so absorbed in serving Krishna that they don't get any other pleasure. They don't find any other pleasure. Prabhupada says here what happens, men work so hard throughout the day and earning money for what? To fill his belly and to enjoy in the night. So it's only just sex gratification or that involvement is there. That is in the material world, right? Because we don't know higher taste. All the materialistic people are like that. They just earn money and they want to enjoy life. But what is this enjoyment? It is suffering. No, too much of sense gratification leads to frustration and suffering, because nobody can be 100% satisfied in this material world. But when you start associating with Krishna, when you start doing devotional service, then all these things becomes secondary to you. Okay, your mind gets a higher taste. So here it said about the Vaikuntha planets. Here the walls are made up of marble walls, and it's shining because it's made up of gold and emeralds and ruby and all those things. So no need to clean them, but still all the ladies are involved in cleaning in order to give pleasure to the Lord. So the verse goes from Brahma Samhita: Chintamani pragari salmadu kalpa vriksha lakshavateshu surabir apipalayandam Lakshmi Sahasrasada Sambrava Sevyamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So it's made up of touchstone, all the walls and everything. And then thousands of Lakshmis are serving. Okay, so the goddess of fortune, or Lakshmi, is described here as Chanchala. In the sense, if Narayan is not there, she doesn't stay. What was the reason why Arjuna won? Because Lakshmi Devi, she was the goddess of fortune, was on the side of Arjuna. Why? Because Krishna was there, right? So if you want only Lakshmi, like Ravan did, Prabhupada gives the example how he captured Mata Sita, and then everything got destroyed in the Ravana's palace, everything, because he tried to separate. They are together, they are one and the same. Lakshmi Narayan or Radha Krishna is one and the same. You can't separate them. She is serving him. Now the 9 devotional service, Pada Sevanam, that's the highest of service which Lakshmi Devi does. She's always serving the lotus feet of Krishna, of the Lord Vishnu, and she stays where the Lord stays, Narayan stays. But if you try to take her separately, then she's like Chanchal. She sits in a lotus flower and it's like shaking. So Ravan is an example. But Ravan could not capture the real Mata Sita. It was Maya Sita taken by Ravan, because Mata Sita is nobody but Lakshmi Devi, and Ravan is Jaya Vijaya, but then it's for the pastime. But still, he could not capture the real Mata Sita. It's the Maya Sita captured. And when she came back, the fire pastime which happened, when she went in, the Maya Sita got crushed and the real Sita came out. So that's one example. What about Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu? Hiranya means gold. So both of them were so attracted to gold and riches and all that, and they wanted only Lakshmi. And so Hiranyaksha captured Mother Earth without Narayan. Mother Earth is the Bhumi Devi is mother, and Narayan is the father. Without the father, he tried to capture only the mother, and then he was doomed. So this is an example where the demons, they concentrate only the money part. That's why you see so many devotees in those temples, but hardly anyone in Krishna temple. And Prabhupada says that's because in a diamond shop, you don't see everyone there. those who are qualified and those who are, such people only comes to a diamond shop because they know the value. Similarly, those who come to Krishna, they know the value what Krishna can give. So, and also we see the example of Sudama. Sudama went for asking Lakshmi or money, but then he didn't ask. He was poverty stricken, but then he went and just for Krishna. He just pleased Krishna by giving that poha, and he didn't ask anything, but then he got Lakshmi Devi, because Lakshmi Devi gets pleased when you serve her God, or in the sense her master. Then who is her master? Narayana or Krishna. So when you serve Krishna, Lakshmi Devi is more pleased. People, many of the materialistic people, they don't know. They think that Narayan is not needed, only Lakshmi Devi. But we should know that she is under serving the lotus feet of Krishna or Narayan. And so without him, she doesn't go anywhere. And here it's also said about sense gratification, that in Vaikuntha planets, it can't be compared to the material world. Okay, in Vaikuntha, everything is different. It's all in the transcendental platform. So all these, the relationships is there between men and women. Prabhupada explains there's no, the material concepts there. The material concepts are completely different there. So senses can be used in two ways, either to gratify it or to purify it. No, you can either gratify your sense by going into Maya, and that's kind of a disease we have, Bhava Rog. But then if you try to purify your sense, then it's a healthy state. So it is said that the senses, all the five senses and all the parts of the body can give you misery. Right? Why do we have different specialists for different parts of our body, like a cardiologist for the heart, nephrologist for the kidney, then ophthalmologist for your eyes, and orthopedician for your bones, ENT and all that? Why different doctors? Because it says that each part of your body can give you misery, problems, right? There can be one doctor who can take care of all the parts, but one part of your body can give so much of disease that someone has to do super specialization in that particular part of body to treat you. That means definitely the body gives pain, and along with pleasure, whatever small temporary pleasure it gives, there's a lot of pain. So that's why Prabhupada mentioned it as pavarga. So when you say the alphabets like pa, pa, ba, pa, ma, so the pavarga is, there is P for parishram or hard work. Like you do a lot of hard work, and then because you want to enjoy, you want money, and then you do a lot of hard work. That's power, parishram. It's hard work. When you keep doing hard work, what happens? There'll be foam coming in from your mouth, or it's compared to an animal, where animal works so hard and the foam comes. That means you start sweating and you are so tired. Now foam comes. Pa, pa, then bha, then there is bondage or bandhan. Because you do some karma, there is a reaction coming, so there is bandhana. And then fa, there's fear, because what if I lose my job, or what if, so many fear. And then last M, mrityu. So this is pavarga, where the sense gratification or the material world, the whatever karma which we do is having bondage with for us. But as we come out of the cycle by doing devotional service, then we come up. So it is said, Atmendriya Tripti Vancha Tarano Kam, Krishnendriya Tripti Vancha Tarana Prem. Like if you try to satisfy your senses, Atmendriya Tripti Vancha, Atma Indriya, if you start gratifying your sense, then it is called Kam. Okay, lust. But Krishnendriya Tripti Vancha, if you start serving Krishna's senses, then it's called Prem. So that is God, love of God. So here it is said, even the Vaikuntha planets, the palaces are made up of marble walls with golden borders. There is no dust, but still they keep sweeping the marble walls, these ladies. Why? In order to receive the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, just to do service to the Lord. They try to find some service. So Hanuman is so involved in serving the Lord, so Lord Ram. So everyone is like, why always Hanuman is serving? Let's all serve today. We won't give any service to Hanuman. So all the service was done by different people, and nobody, everyone ignored Hanuman just to see what he's going to do. But he can't live without serving his master. He's in Dasya Bhava, no? He's always in service. So he was searching, what service can I do? What service can I do? But everyone was so busy doing the service to Lord Ram that he didn't have any service. Finally, he got a service. that when Lord Ram was yawning, like when he yawned, Hanuman goes and do this. So that's the, even though it's a very insignificant service, he took that service, and everyone is like, Hanuman can't live without doing service. So when service comes in this world, we run off. Like, I can't do this, huh? Mataji, no, so much service is there. I have that, this, and I can't do service. But then Hanuman shows us the way, because service to the Lord, a service his devotees is the greatest thing, because you get a higher pleasure. So we can purify your senses by associating with pure devotees like Srila Prabhupada. Because in Vaikuntha planets, everyone are pure devotees. Nobody is contaminated, right? In the Vaikuntha planets, everyone is pure. And in Golok Vrindavan also, everyone is pure. There's no anarthas in them. So that means a pure devotee is like that. The pure devotee doesn't have any anarthas. So what happens? Naturally, you get attracted to that person. So when you associate with pure devotees, the whole your sense gratifications completely gets changed. So once what happened, there was people who was taking LSD drugs. So when they take drugs, they forget everything and they are in a higher state. But again, they come down. Again, they go up. So when Prabhupada went, and yesterday I was hearing Mukunda Datta Prabhu, he is Prabhupada's disciple, and he was there when Prabhupada started the movement. So he was Michael Grant at that time. So you can just see his he's sharing Prabhupada's memory. Michael Grant, was living with his girlfriend in an apartment, and Prabhupada wanted to move from Bavri. There's a small slum place, and that place was not good. Prabhupada had some problem there. So he wanted an apartment to move on, or some kind of a storefront. So he went to Michael Grant and asked, I need some place to shift. I mean, I need to start the center and I need to stay somewhere. So Michael Grant is like, where will I search for? And he started searching, calling out different numbers. Finally, he went to 26 2nd Avenue. That's the first place, no? Matchless Gift Shop. That's where the International Society of Krishna Consciousness was formed. So he got that storefront. It was just a small storefront, and they told $100 for the rent monthly. And Michael Grant is like, okay, I'll pay. I and his another friend was agreed to pay. They know Swamiji for just few days. Initially Prabhupada was called Swamiji initially. And when he went to America, so they decided they will take that storefront, and behind the storefront there was an apartment, small apartment, where Prabhupada can stay. So that was around $80. So $180 per month. They thought, okay, we can pay. So now Prabhupada liked that owner. The owner also liked them. So owner gave the contract and everything, they signed. So Prabhupada had his 3 volumes of Shrimad Bhagavatam, the first published copies, and the 3 sets of Shrimad Bhagavatam he gifted to that owner and said, you keep it. So the owner's like, I don't read all these things. And Prabhupada's like, no, it's a gift from me. So Prabhupada signed it. He gave a sign, and he gave autograph, and then he gifted it to the owner. So he just looked it and he was like, okay, thank you. I'll try to read. And Prabhupada's like, do you like to be at one of our trustee? I mean, of the International Society of Krishna at that time. Nothing was there actually, but Prabhupada was, just having a long vision. So Prabhupada's like, see, these are the members. Michael Grant, one more friend, Prabhupada, and the owner himself. So Prabhupada made him a trustee. And Prabhupada said, we are planning to pay the rent in division. In the sense, if it's $80, I pay 20, 20, 20, 20. Okay, so we 4 of us pay $20, so it becomes 80. So the owner was also involved. And he just said, Prabhupada just said, okay, so you don't have to pay $20. You cut it from the rent because it's your place. You cut it. So the owner was like, shocked. What is happening? I just gave the place, and now Prabhupada made me a trustee in ISKCON, and now he is telling me you also pay $20. So everyone is like, Prabhupada, what are you saying? But Prabhupada was so pure. He was such a pure devotee that nobody could say no to Prabhupada. Just look at Prabhupada and you just say yes. Because that's the power coming from Krishna. Because why are we getting attracted to all these people around us? Because of presence of Krishna. So in America, in abroad, when you go, if you have gone, there will be aquariums, and you go through the aquariums. There will be not like normal aquariums, it will be like huge aquariums where you have an underground system where the fishes and everything just go around you. It's so nice to see. So you keep on looking. So people stays hours together and watches these fishes moving, all these fishes. So Prabhupada's like, what are they getting? What fun they get? I mean, what pleasure they get by seeing these fishes for hours together? And why are they getting attracted to these fishes? So one person told, Prabhupada, it's moving. It's so colorful. It's moving. Prabhupada's like, fan is also moving. Can you stare at the fan for like hours together? No, nobody can see a fan which is moving like 2 hours, 3 hours. But you just see at the aquarium and you see the fishes moving, or go sit in a beach, you see the waves coming, and you can just sit there for hours together. Why? So Prabhupada's like, that's because there's life in it. Where the fish has a soul in it, a super soul in it. Even in the sea, there's a lot of creatures, or the plants around has something called the life in it. That's because the Paramatma is in them. So the Paramatma is actually attracting you, not because a fan is not attracting you, because there's no life in the fan. So finally, Prabhupada, so that's how Prabhupada, being a pure devotee, he just attracted them. And Michael Grant was so attracted to Prabhupada that he finally surrendered, become Mukunda Datta Swami. And so that's why. So when you associate with pure devotees, you become purified. Nothing, you don't have to do anything, but that purification starts. That's why yesterday I was saying, when you associate with Tulsi Maharani, she purifies you. Like a baby spoiling the diapers, the father plays with the diaper with the baby, but unless and till the baby passes stool and urine, then the father is like, give it to the mother. No, the father is like, come take, the baby needs you. And then the mother comes. Does the mother rejects the baby, saying that, oh, what is he doing and all that? No, the mother is full of love and unconditional love, that she changes the diaper and she cleans the baby, give him nice bath and put him nice other garments and clean him up. And once he's clean, the father again comes and takes the baby and plays. No, so the father is like the Krishna. And if we are contaminated, Krishna can't accept it us just like that. But a pure devotee like a mother, like Tulsi Maharani, Srila Prabhupada, Acharyas can purify us, and then Krishna can accept us. So nobody can go to our spiritual fathers directly. We have to go through our guru or a pure devotee like Tulsi Maharani. So she purifies us. So it's very important to know that we have to purify our senses. If we don't purify the senses, then what happens? For example, when you watch television, there's different channels. No, 200, 300 channels are available now. It's like Netflix, and you get lot of online movies at home, and all these online thing is going so much that in just one click you get whatever you wish to see. So the senses are getting so much of recreation and entertainment that is involved in it. Hours together just goes on and passes away, and then what happens? You become dull. You're not so active. You just feel like drowsy and you're in tamagun, because what is going inside is all negative things. But instead you just hear half an hour of Shrimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, you feel so energetic the whole day. I know many of the devotees now, they are traveling to work, and in buses and car and all, they keep hearing Shrimad Bhagavatam lectures. It means they know the purpose. They have the higher taste. They got the taste of Shrimad Bhagavatam. They could have watched a movie, or they could have heard some film songs while traveling, but then because they got a higher taste. So in Vaikuntha, so in material world also, we can make a place Vrindavan or Vaikuntha by keeping Krishna in the center, by purifying our senses through Krishna. So when you get attracted to Krishna, that's when you get purified. A person with jaundice, he have high fever, he can't even get up from his bed. When he gets up, he feel like sleeping. When he sleeps, he feel like getting up. And he, even if you give lot of foodstuffs to him, he can't eat. No, there's pakoda and all these things, fried items and everything given, a lot of sweets given. He has bitter taste. The jaundice person has a bitter taste. So we all have this material disease, and all these pakoda and everything, all these sense gratifications, it's not giving us the real taste. But once we are out of this disease, once we get cured from jaundice or material bhava roga, then you get the higher taste. Then that's possible only by association of pure devotees. So in Vaikuntha, all the inhabitants are so pure that naturally Krishna is in the center, and service to Krishna is given importance. So it doesn't matter whichever part of the world or whichever job you are in. If you are determined, then you can purify your senses. So once, it's a story of Danveer Maharaj. So he was a military man initially when he before coming to Krishna consciousness. So some of the military person had Bhagavad Gita with him and gifted Danveer Maharaj. So he took it, he started reading. So especially when you are in a camp or something that nothing is there, that you feel like reading shastras sometimes, because sometimes you're so busy with the family, you don't turn to the shastras. But sometimes life pulls you in such a situation that you feel like reading the shastra. So he started reading Bhagavad Gita, and he got introduced to ISKCON, and he started chanting and worshipping and all that. So in those days, in the military camp, they were allowed to do devotional service. I mean, whichever religion you're following, you're given so much time for your devotional service, and rest of the time, you're supposed to serve the country. So Danveer Maharaj went to the captain and said, I need more time for my devotional service. I think this time is not enough, because I need 2 hours to chant my 16 rounds. Then I need time to cook for Krishna, to offer bhog. Then I have to do arti, and I have to do so many things, read Shastra. And so the captain asked, how long you need? Those 6 hours. 6 hours? What will you do in the 6 hours? He's like, I have a full packed schedule. You can watch. And then he was granted, because that's then the rules. So he was granted 6 hours. But he was along with other military people, that he used to get up early morning, 4:30, and do Mangalarati and start chanting, and was disturbing the others, because it's a camp. And then everyone started complaining. He is getting 6 hours for devotional service, and what about us? So they went and complained to their priest, and the priest came and spoke to the captain. So captain is like, I'm watching this person, the Hare Krishna person. He's completely using that 6 hours. He never wastes his time. He's very sincere. And if it is disturbing others, then I'll give him a separate room. So he was given a separate room to do his puja and everything, along with his service. And the other priest is like, we don't know what to do for 6 hours. So better to give 1 hour for our devotee, our religion. So because they didn't know what else to do, they didn't have any other engagement. But Danveer Maharaj was so involved in doing a lot of service, and then slowly the captain also got impressed by the Krishna consciousness movement. And then one of the military people became his initiated disciple later on. So because he had to leave everything and go for the service full time. And then it happened like that. Not only that, there was another military person, captain, who was watching the devotees reading Bhagavad Gita. So because when you read Bhagavad Gita, you're actually associating with Krishna, and also associating with a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada. Because Prabhupada is in his books. No? So this incident proves that Prabhupada is there in his purports. So the captain was so interested to know what is these people doing. So they were hiding and reading Bhagavad Gita, because it was not allowed to read those days and in a particular country. So the captain is like, what are you reading? I know you are all hiding from me and reading, but I won't scold you. I'm not here to take away that book which you're reading, but I'm interested to know this. And they told it's Bhagavad Gita. And he's like, oh, I like to know about Bhagavad Gita. And they started from Dehinosmin Yada Dehe. They started saying we are not this body, we are spirit, soul, and all that. Everything they started explaining. So the captain is like, can I have one copy of Bhagavad Gita, as it is special Prabhupada? So one of the devotees had one copy, and they gave. And that person told, you need to pay for it. And the captain is like, what? I'm the captain. And why can't you give it free? And the devotee said, no, Srila Prabhupada said, if you give free the books, then people don't value it. If anything you get free, it's like in the corner of your room. I mean, you really don't value. So if someone deserves it, yes, you can give it. And when you gift something, you can give it. But otherwise, you're supposed to take, because it cost for the printing. So the captain had to pay, and captain was impressed. Oh, good, they're doing it as a service. So he didn't start reading. He just had the book. Most of us, we do that. No, they keep it in the book, in the shelf, and they don't read. So the person who gave the book started following up. He always asked the captain, did you start reading? Did you start? Which chapter are you on? And then 6 months it went on. The captain said, I'll read next week. This week I'm so busy. I'll read. But then 6 months passed and he didn't read. So he thought, let me at least read for this person. So he started reading. But he used to read in a funny way. He used to read slokas sometimes or only translations. He doesn't touch the purports. When he see the purports, he's like, such a long purports, I can't read, no time. So he just read the translation and finished the whole book, 700 slokas. So the devotee is like, you finished Bhagavad Gita? We didn't finish. You finished in few weeks. He's like, yeah, I'm reading only the translation. I don't think purports are important. I don't want to read so long. And he's like, okay, somehow he started reading, forget it. That night, that captain, he was not a big, he didn't start chanting and everything, but he was sincere. And Prabhupada was so merciful that Prabhupada came in the dream of that captain. He came in the dream and Prabhupada said that you can read my purports. My purports are my devotional ecstasy. And that's what I wrote when Krishna dictated. It's not what I wrote. So you can read the purports. And the captain was surprised to see Prabhupada in the dream. And all the devotees were so surprised to hear that the captain had the dream of Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada came and personally instructed him that the purports are so important. That's why we should read Prabhupada's purports, because that's exclusively given for as it is. And you won't get it anywhere else. It's exclusively by Prabhupada. And that's coming from a pure devotee. When you read Prabhupada's purport, you start appreciating him. When you start reading, then you are actually involving your senses in reading. So what happens? Naturally, it gets controlled and it gets purified. So that's a very nice way to, because our next body is deciding on what we do this life. No, so that's very important. So if you associate Karanam Guna Sangasya, if you associate with a pure devotee, then next life you are born in Sattvagun, Shruchinam Srimadam Gehe, or it might be in this life you can go back. So it's very important to read Prabhupada's purports wherever it is. If it's Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita or any other book, Srila Prabhupada's purports are like gems and jewels, which you don't get it anywhere. And we won't be able to understand only by reading the translations, because that's just a compressed form. But then when Prabhupada explains in the purports, quoting from different shastras, from different acharyas, then you will be able to appreciate shastra. Okay, so I think we can stop here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everyone. So anyone have a question? You can raise your hand. Or we can just close. Start reading Prabhupada's books. I request all of you, whichever book you're comfortable, whichever book you feel like reading, please read. Because the shastras are like sweet candy. Anywhere you taste, it's sugar. So you can read whichever part is you feel like reading. You can read any book you can take. And okay. Okay, no questions. I can unmute everyone.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, in chapter 11 Bhagavad Gita, Vishwarupa, no? That is, Sanjaya will tell Duryodhana, no? Like, no, Dhritarashtra will be telling, no, that Vishwarupa. Can he see Vishwarupa?
Sanjaya?
Arjuna, no?
Yes, Sanjaya saw, because he's a disciple of Vyasadeva, so he could see.
Oh, so apart from Arjuna, only Sanjaya could see.
Yes.
So no one else. Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
Yes, Hema Mataji. I have a question. Santosh Prabhu.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna to all devotees. Mataji, one thing I want to ask about the Guru. Like you told that in the when we proceed in the devotional path, the Guru takes our pap karma. In the earlier class. So Purna karma also he takes.
Yes. Then only it becomes nullified. No, if there is punya, again you have to take rebirth. Punya is not actually good, because even in punya you take rebirth and there is suffering. Still there is suffering, because when you are reborn to enjoy the punya like a rich person and you're educated, you're beautiful, but again there's suffering. No, again karma comes, again reaction. So the Guru takes both, so that it's nullified, it becomes zero, so that there is no punarjanma.
So if suppose you progress in the devotional path, okay, you are very Krishna conscious person. Okay, you are very
I'm not.
like you have and so much punya. Then some person the guru will take, and the guru's soul will also be strengthened. Is it so?
No, devotional service. You mean devotional service? No, devotional service is the individual soul's this thing, but the Guru gives the mercy. Guru Krishna Kripai Pai Bhakti Lata Beach. Guru gives the mercy, but Guru doesn't take anything from us. Guru nullifies the punya and papa. But once you're initiated, then you do the real devotional service. That's for the soul. But Guru is actually guiding you to Krishna, and Guru increases your path progression towards Krishna.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So in this regard, what happens once when Srila Prabhupada was told by Brahmananda Muni, Prabhupada, you can go to America, you can go to Vrindavan and stay there and chant 64 rounds and sit near Yamuna and Vrindavan and enjoy, why Prabhupada, you're running around the world and establishing so many centers. So Prabhupada said, then if I go to Vrindavan, I'll be doing sense gratification. Then Brahmananda Muni is like, how can going to Vrindavan, chanting the rounds and doing devotional service be sense gratification? It is devotional service, right? When we think it's devotional service. But Prabhupada's like, no, devotional service is what your guru gives. Whatever orders or instructions your guru give, that is your devotional service. So the guru have said, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati to Srila Prabhupada, preach the mission. Our guru, His Holiness Jayapataka Goswami Maharaj, when we take initiation, he also told us to preach the cult, the Krishna consciousness. So that is our devotional service. So that's very important to know. Santosh Prabhu, you had a question? Santosh Suri? No? Okay, you raised your hand. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. I have a question, Sharmishta here. Mataji, now we are going to Vrindavan, no? The room and location and all is not shared, Mataji, like last time in airport.
It'll just come because we have 2 more weeks now. Now it's they're just finalizing the list, so it will be posted soon. Okay.
All right, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so all of you chant well and have that intense desire to go to Vrindavan, and so pray that no obstacles comes and everyone is safe. And okay, so you get a lot of blessings and mercy. Take that positive energy and keep it with you for your future. Yes, Ayushi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dharma Pranam Mataji. Thank you Mataji for your nice class. I'm really grateful. I learned so many things when I attend your
You have to read
class.
Prabhupada's book.
I get inspiration when I attend your class.
I'm repeating what Prabhupada says, nothing else. Okay, so just read Prabhupada's book and listen to his lectures, all of you. Okay. Vanchakalpatarubhasya kripa sindhute evacha patidanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namah anant kodi vaishnavvrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Shrimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dhanyavad
Krishna Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.